fight to end your hatred, USA to Canada. Had to go to NYC mics, put it on camera. See, I am exhausted, I'm running out of stamina. But I can't cause bigotry is building all my anger up. Trying to stick up for me, they try to cancel us. Like my first time, I had to rhyme on biz. Hip-hop to reggae, the land where Zion is. This is real, now they hate you for being Zion. Is it about what I'm missing? I can't hear cause I'm going deaf. Every time they trying to change the definition. I'm a student, I'm a teacher, my job is protected children. Flow is just rad and real. Read books, Jews don't count as a book. By Betty L, I'm bugging out, I just lost half my chill. Now it's time to spill the honey, show love like Ellie.
Welcome back, everybody. This week's episode is a little different. This is our first ever on the road podcast. We're here live, you know what I mean? And my buddy Kosha Dillz, right from the MTV series.
Yeah, man.
Wildin' out.
Wildin' out in my apartment, man. You guys, welcome.
Right in the apartment,
welcome.
man. This is look at this, man. You can't knock this. right here in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, man. This is it. Wow, this is crazy.
Well, we really appreciate you, and you know, we respect you. You know what I mean? You welcome us here with open arms,
bro. You guys are sitting on this couch has a story. This apartment has a story. Nice. And we all got stories, man. Yeah, man. This is cool that you guys came down. This is crazy how we linked up.
Yeah, it's real crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sometimes networking is different, you know?
You know, I always expect something to happen. Like, it's always going to be something. So this is the something that happened from last night's adventure. So here we are. You know what I mean? Yeah,
well,
man.
You reside here, what, in Brooklyn?
Yeah, this is it, man.
Born and raised?
No. I'm from Jersey. Okay. So, born in Jersey. My whole family's Israeli. Lived in Jersey. I was 29. Moved out to LA on the, artist thing. I was doing music probably for, 8 years up till then. On a more serious level, I would say 7 years. And then I'm like, I'm going to get out to LA. I was really big about going to LA. And from there, just, stayed in LA 9 years, came back, went to Israel, then went to LA during the pandemic, New York. So this is 2 years officially here, but coming up on 3 years total in New York. Okay. All right, fine.
What was your childhood like?
Yeah, that's so funny, man. What was my childhood like? So, growing up with, I grew up with immigrant parents, so it wasn't like the typical American experience, let's say. Or you would say even like American Jewish experience, but having Israeli parents, I think anyone where I was born in Edison, New Jersey, this is where like I feel my childhood was different. We went like sports, so there wasn't like I think a lot of kids, maybe kids that go to church, they go to like the camp or there's special things with their like local religious communities or our family, we just soccer and wrestling. That's what I did. So I was playing soccer since I was like 4. We skied at like the local Pennsylvania spot, Shawnee Mountain. It's just funny now that I'm speaking with you, I'm thinking all these places have sort of native proximities to different tribes and stuff. So we would go to Pennsylvania, upstate New York, Vermont, okay. and then wrestling was really age 8 till age 20. So everything was like wrestling, just wrestling camps, wrestling clubs, and that was a big thing.
So you must have been good at wrestling if you were traveling.
Yeah. I ended up going Division I for like 2 years.
Okay.
And then drugs got into the picture. So it's hard to be an athlete who excels at Division I. Like, motherfuckers is good,
Absolutely.
I don't know how else to explain it. Is that you need to be cut from a certain cloth to wrestle, and then there's this like levels. You just got to keep leveling up as you go along because the competition just gets better.
That's you could kind of compare that to like a military base too. They don't just got the Navy's in there. They got those elites in there.
Right. Exactly.
D1, D2, D3.
Exactly. So you got your foot soldiers, and you got your sergeant, lieutenant, you got some generals out there,
Absolutely.
You got some Navy SEALs. The Navy SEALs are not the ones to play with. And,
those are the elite.
Yeah, exactly. The elite. And I always was enamored by being the elite, but, music, my hip hop stuff started coming in, I would say I was 17, 16, and I liked the idea of getting on stage and battling people. That was like really fun for me. It built my confidence. It was also similar to wrestling because, I wasn't wrestling anymore, but I was wrestling in the beginning, and then just rapping was like, okay, this is what I'm doing now. And but you know, I came back to coaching and things like that. But
Giving back now.
yeah, just you know, just anyone who wrestles. I mean, this is just. It's like I meet you through music, right? And we'll dive into that. But I mean, just anyone you come across, like a wrestler could look at someone's ears, because my ears. I mean, I got the headphones on, but you see, I have cauliflower ear, or you could say I have surgeries. They're like, okay, don't mess with that guy because he wrestled or he's a fighter.
What is that? How is that formatted? The cauliflower.
It's just from like trauma on hitting your ear, and then it fills up with liquid, and then you either get it drained or you get a surgery on your ear from like an ENT, an ear, nose, throat specialist, I think it's called, like that.
Okay.
Or you just let it harden up and
Callus.
and it just forms into a cauliflower. So like the dudes with the most cauliflower, if you watch Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like these dudes' ears are just trash. Or if you look Olympic wrestling, dudes' ears are, it's sort of like an attractive quality. So I mean, people, normal people think it's nasty, but you know, wrestlers.
So it's like a Harley person looking at a Harley
it's
person.
actually like a rite of passage. If you have cauliflower ear, like you're kind of a badass. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. You put that work in. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I just love wrestling. So for me, if you could wrestle, I think, you know, we're just going to childhood. I think like the rest of life could be easy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So as you wrestled, did you accommodate any like mental things? Any, you know, because that's, you gotta stretch, you gotta strain your body sometimes to make weight, you know.
Yeah. I built up probably a lot of negative habits, I think, that I've carried on to my adulthood, like being concerned about my weight. I mean, like I had a lot of negative traits. I just remember one time, you know, we would gone to Florida during high school, and we were all overweight because we're traveling, so we're not eating. And I remember just going into a hot tub with like the team, and I'm like, all right, I have to lose 9 pounds for this, you know, sectionals meet versus 100 in county, 100 in central. And I'm like, damn, I'm just like I gotta lose 9 pounds. So I would pretty much, spitting, but like you got to run an hour in all sweats with a bag and work out, maybe 2 hours to lose 6 pounds of water weight. So now you're, you know, down to 3. But there'll be people that'll be like, "Oh, stand on your head." This is crazy. You stand on your head, and you could literally lose weight by standing on your head. So you could lose like a quarter pound because you're shifting the weight in your body. Some shit.
Wait, what about the blood rushing?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's not good. Like I said, it's not good for you.
I never heard of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, but I remember this one dude that wrestled, and he was a badass, and his whole family was a bunch of badasses with wrestling, and we were like, oh man, he's the man. Like, stand on your, you know. I was like,
looked up.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, that's awesome, you know. Because he was older, I was like, oh, that's horrible, actually, if you think about it now. But yeah, that was it. I mean, and like I still weigh myself often now, and I'm always like, oh man, I gotta, you know, it's just.
I mean, look at your lifestyle though. You know what I mean? You gotta take that into consideration. You know, you can't be up on stage looking slop. You can't. You know what I mean? That's so it's not.
Yeah, thank God, because I would say my eating habits are bad, but like my workout habits are good. But to really, you know, really just be on another level, I think it's, you know, you have to eat healthy, work out hard, and to really make a giant shift in your body, and your body becomes addicted to certain things and lifestyles and stuff. And staying up late, like, you know, staying up late wasn't a thing until after high school, you know, like, you know, because usually you're waking up at 7, so you're more tired.
Well, that's the whole thing, you know what I mean? Being in this New York City vibe, being down here, you know what I mean? Coming down here and traveling and networking with everybody, and it's great networking ability. And, you know, Kay and all of them interested, and they wanted to go, and I said, no, I can't. I said, I gotta get this podcast, you know, this is, that's why when Eddie was hitting me up, I told Eddie, I said, nah, man, I can't, I gotta, you know, it's really, discipline is a hard thing that a lot of people, even myself, have discipline, you know.
I woke up really late the other day, and I was like, you know, a lot of times I'll wake up from the sunlight, like I'm just like, all right, boom. But today I was like, yeah, I'm going out late. I need to set an alarm. I need to set my alarm for like 9 o'clock, and that's kind of late, but that's also early for a lot of people that sleep late. You know, there's a huge difference in what you're gonna get done in the day from if you're up and at it at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. versus you're like fighting your, you know, 11 to 4 because you're really just getting and cracking at 12:30 and and you know, let's say you're on the West Coast and you're screwed. You know what I mean?
Oh, so my goodness, tell me about it. They're way behind and everything.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, waking up early is the wave when you get older. Like, I'm at an age now where I'm like, okay,
Early bird gets the worm.
Yeah, because you kind of trying to go through the nostalgia thing of like, man, I want to get back to what made me into who I am now, which was wrestling. You know what I'm saying? And that's the tenacity of like my youth was just wake up, work out, compete, work out. So now you have to compete with yourself because you're an adult. I'm not squaring off on people. You know what I mean? You're competing with yourself.
You took your competition and format in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You got that. Hey, I gotta go. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's cool though. What drives you to the success that you're at right now?
What drives me to what is it?
To continue on your success path.
I think like, well, just for people that are like privy to my shit, I mean, I've been rapping since the late 90s and it's 2023, right? I was born in 81. So if you think the first time I was on stage was 98, that was the first time I was on stage in New York City, New York Poets Cafe. I should have gotten a job or some shit like along the way. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, oh, well, you're not going to make it or whatever, And the reality is like, I had a lot of success. So I had what on paper looks good. So if I could show you I'm cool. And this is the thing about hip hop is that it's the only industry where I'm trying to tell you I have something that I really don't for the hope of me getting some more. So no other industry really works like that. Like it would actually be illegal in real estate for me to tell you this house is $1 million, it's worth 200,000. Like you know what I'm saying? Like certain things, and you're like, it's not.
There's no value there.
Yeah, you can't get your house appraised for the wrong price. You know what I'm saying?
So you're pretty much talking at the corporate level. You know what I mean? Looking at things of
comparison. Yeah. So for me, like all the signs, I had a lot of the success. So I charted on Billboard, but it was I think we were discussing this last night. I was like, I charted on Billboard in 2016, and I'm like, okay, I charted on Billboard, so now you should be at a higher level. And then, I got when I came to New York, I started rapping on the street with the speaker and started busking. And the busking stuff is like, I have a song with RZA, but you're still busking. But those videos sort of, I went back down to those videos like bringing me up. So now I'm actually more popular by doing something that was very humiliating to many other, like not everyone would do it. And to be in a state of humility is sort of what I strive to be at. It's like, okay, I'm a grinder. You know what I'm saying? I rap on the subway. Mm-hmm. I try to rap on street corners. And sort of like when you first started rapping, you were like, oh man, you were like in ciphers and trying to impress people just naturally.
Trying to get your name out there.
Exactly. And so for me, I'm like, okay, if I'm in a state of humility, what does that mean today? That means, oh, I want to be at the party. Like, why don't you just spend money and be in a studio? I want to be on tour. This is where it is for me this past couple of weeks. I want to be on tour with all these big bands. Well, you're not big, so you should be in the studio and make big songs so people hear them, so you become popular, so people want you to go out with them. You know what I'm saying? But people are like, I just want to go out there with what I have now. I'm like, well, you don't got nothing.
Yeah, so you can't even go out there.
So what's the point? Well, the point is you think your shit is going to go, but they're actually doing you a favor and say, stay home. You are not ready. You're not ready.
Yeah.
You're not ready, my guy. And this is the thing. So the other day, I'm just like, what am I going to do? I told you, I just played you guys a song. I made that shit in 90 minutes. If you could make a song in 90 minutes, Why do you got to go to work? Why would you even not want to do that? And my boy tells me this all the time. He's like, if you can make your songs every day, and like, all right, this is the next goal. We're going to buy this beat off BeatStars, and we're going to do a project. And the project is you're going to make 3 songs in 2 hours each, but you can't, this is the game. So now you got 3 songs, right? So as a hip hop artist, I'm like, okay, and this is like, imagine if any time I could, so now I'm trying to like recreate my own wrestling practice. And back when I went to wrestling, we used to, you're young, you used to spend money to go to camps. You know what I'm saying? You're like, all right, go to training camp. You're like, oh, this has got training camp. So I'm like, I have money now. Like I'm not like, I'm like, oh, I take money, just put it back into my lifestyle of what I want to do. And I was like, I want to learn how to stay home and build, build the foundation. If you look at any like superstar athlete, their whole shit is conditioning. Like someone who could go 12 rounds. So
it's those repetitive acts that can either create a bad habit or a good habit. You know what I mean? Right. It's what a person does. And
if I want to like circle it back to like music, as far as you know, I've been sober a long time. Like all these things, been sober almost 18 some years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That ain't easy to do.
Nah,
especially in this world.
Yeah.
In this atmosphere that you surround yourself.
It's right, because we're meeting at like a Wu-Tang event, right? Or just like, you know, film screening, Hollywood. You could just take Wu-Tang out of it. It could be anything, any other thing, a club is this, I want to be there. And for me, I'm like, I went out last night and I met people that knew me from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 2 years ago. So some people knew me from 2 years ago, which is from New York, doing the stuff in New York. Other people met me from, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he met me from, 13 years ago, I think 2010. I mean, the Wu dudes knew me from 2009. And the guys that are playing the Wu-Tang, TJ, who's, playing a main character, and he has, he's popping, he's a fashion guy, 150,000, he's excelling, right?
Absolutely.
Ice Spice is commenting on, I did his first rap show in Philly. He did it with me, and we opened up for this dude Wax, and we probably got paid like $100, and I think he had to sell tickets. So he was in Philly, and it was a dope show. It was a place called the Trocadero. And he's like, holy shit, what are you doing here? He had no clue. And I'm telling RZA, this is how and that's from putting in work, right? But a lot of times you could sit back and look and be like, well, why am I not in that position? Or why am I not in this?
You didn't put yourself out there.
Or you did, but you still got to just do, but you are out there. Like, I'm saying, you still just got to do the work. But for me, that just gets me excited to do more work, because it just proves to you that work works. It just works differently for everybody else.
Everyone has to start at the bottom.
Yeah. And I would say I've put in a lot of work. And I'm just talking, I'm going on a tangent, but I put in a lot of work, but musically, I'm like, I could do more. I know I could do more. And, I put in a lot of work to the point where I got on Wild 'N Out at 40 years old.
That's
what is
that like though?
Yeah.
Because you said you went from 90 what when you start rapping?
98
to now. We're in 2023.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pounding the pavement for a long time.
Yes, I had touched stage for the first time in 1998, which was in the fall. I think in November was when I did the first battle.
What was that like? What was that experience like? Did I make it, or what was that like? You know what I mean?
I remember I was high, so it was the first time I got on stage. I smoked weed with my friends. My boy Yak Balls was rapping, who became very successful in his own right, and he was winning all the battles. And I just went against some guy, Big Mike the Terror, and I was, just rapping, and it was like 8 rounds of 4 people, so it was 32, and then it was 8, and then it was 4, and then it was 2, and then I know he ended up taking second place. And I think from there, I went back 2 months later, and then I took second place. You know what I'm saying? Or I won one whole round and went on to the second. So it was like growth, and I was like, oh, it's on. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is dope. And I think, I'm just not done yet. I just feel like I'm just getting started. It's so crazy. But at that time, because of the drugs and stuff, I didn't go for years without touching the stage, or I would go, 2 years here, or maybe write one verse, and I started freestyling along the way, and stuff. I started putting music together, but I just felt like I was good with the ideas. But last night was really interesting. How can I take being in these circles of people? I'm like, okay, this is the acting world. I have not put in the work that a trained actor would put in. So it's like, you just have to really love writing and comedy. You have to love writing jokes.
Being on that stage, you got to be able to shoot from your hip from that. That's not, that's naturally who you are. That's just, you got to be quick tongue,
Yeah. Oh, for Wild 'N Out, definitely
and a unique back history to have the ability to dive into a unique sector of your brain.
Just definitely for that, the cool shit about Wild 'N Out is that what I remember when I'm doing Wild 'N Out is that I come from battling. So from 98, 99 to 2009 when I won the Hot 97 battle. I remember it was Asher Roth was playing right after I won the battle. He was just dropped I Love College. then the next year they invited me back, and it was with J. Cole, and I got to open up for J. Cole, and this is like right when his shit was starting to pop with Jay-Z. He had just dropped one song. And I'm like, okay, I'm in this. And then I did like a Red Bull battle before Eminem, and then I really didn't battle. So I was just doing these I became a street performer, and these videos went viral with Fat Joe. And that's really what set the whole Wild and Off opportunity. But so when I got there, I had to retrain my mind, like, yo, you need to cut someone up, like you need to yeah. And they were like, okay, and you want to understand, like, this is you're back and even though these guys really, the people that I was battling really come from battle rap, or they don't, and it's just a different world. So you're like, you have to learn how to adapt into a new crowd, new thing. And I love that. I love adapting into new situations. And I learned that from going to all these events and touring and just being like, okay, now we're in a tuxedo. Now we're at a Wu-Tang event. Now we're at a club event, and it's techno.
Did you ever have that feeling, being diverse like that in all different settings, that fear of, man, what, like, is this me, or, are you just naturally yourself every time?
I think, I was a salesman, what I'm saying? Like, I come from selling stuff. Like, I sold cemetery plots door to door. I fucking sold candy. I sold fireworks. I sold drugs. I like to sell stuff. So for me, I was like, I like the idea of that. I could just talk to anyone. And even last night, I asked somebody, I talked to him, and I realized I was being a little pitchy, and I was just trying to talk to some new people without, hey, this is what I do. Maybe you'd be stoked by it. Maybe, you know what I mean? And that's like a little bit nervous because, people are there and they're ready with their crew, and they're all, the management is with the artist, and you're just trying to say what's up to people and do that work. And that sort of braces you sometimes for, like, sometimes people aren't going to talk to you, and they're going to be like, and they'll just like walk away. You know what I'm saying? And
it's that fear that people always run from, that you just got to just go.
Yes, because, like, it's just, you're not going to see these people. It's like good to be there, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're on stage and you're on TV and you could make a moment, right? And you can make like a real moment for that show. That could be awesome. And all you have to do is just kind of lean into it. So it's like, I'd rather make a joke that doesn't make you laugh than not make a joke at all. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think of like shit like that sometimes. I'm rather, and that's sort of been my career of like, probably, I don't know if I should do this. Fuck it. I'm gonna do it, and it's changed my life, actually.
you've had a lot of highlights on that show. What was your main one that stuck out to you? Like maybe your biggest battle on Wild? What was your biggest moment on that you can recall?
I would say this is just interesting. Like, at least online, the biggest battle I had online was the one I lost. Like, and I wouldn't even say it was good, that I did well. I was very nervous. I went against Sharon, and they did like the white boy battle, and that's like a whole thing because like all my Jewish supporters were like, well, Jews aren't white, and and I'm like, listen, man, just for sake, it was like me versus Sharon because we're the two people that aren't black on the show. We're gonna go battle, and it's a fun for TV. Like, as a producer, you're like, people are gonna be like, I can't wait. Yeah, I could get excited for it. So, of course, because I'm a newbie, right? It was my first season. I went first. This guy's been on the show 10 seasons already. You don't want to mess with him. He's going to come in and
cut you up.
He'll just kill everyone. And, the cool thing is you're battling people that don't even battle on the show. It's like a comedy show. So your job is to make everyone laugh and go, ooh, ha, ha, ha. So he said some shit like, I got bars, you got bar mitzvahs or something. And everyone's like, oh my God, ding, 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 ding. And I'm just like, oh man. And I uploaded it and it got like 7 million views. And I was like, yo, Sharon, this shit is crazy. And people are like, yo, he got killed. And then, but the point is, like, I still got whatever I got off. And the thing is, you're still getting time. For me, from where I came from, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? But as far as me killing it, when I think the second, or it was like the first day of work, I did the same video, and it was like me on my first day. Hitman and Charlie Clips came at me, and I don't even think Hitman didn't even know I rapped. He had no clue what I did. I think he was just like, people just think a comedian or whatever, and they were like, "What the?" You know, and
they were judging the book.
Yeah, judge a book by cover. And the craziest shit is that like some people, like, you know, after Eminem came out, people were like, "Yo." Like people still don't know that anyone who's not
jump.
black.
They can jump.
White men can jump. Like white men can jump. Bro. Like, and or like anyone that's like not looks a certain thing is going to, you know, chop it up. And that shit for me was really cool. But now for me, I'm really into like making jokes and getting the comedy landing. So now I'm doing stand up, and doing stand up is a whole new journey. It is a whole new journey to be like, yo, you're doing stand up, and like, I'll make you laugh. Okay, great. Okay, now what? You know,
better make me laugh again.
Yeah, and that's it. You got to go joke, crowd work, joke, up, down, and like I don't even know what I'm doing. I just know I have no fear, and I am afraid, but I'm like, I'm going to go up and die in front of you, and I don't care if I die. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to sacrifice my. I've been booed off stage, like boo, and I want that shit. Cause like I want it, motherfucker. Like bring it. I love that shit.
That gets me excited.
I've been but I don't want to get booed. I want to be prepared, and that's the thing. If you prepare, it's amazing when it lands. If you are not prepared, you're gonna be up there like trying to figure it out. I'm like, bro, this isn't. You know, the stand up isn't rap. See, rap, you have a beat in the background, or rap battle, you could keep. You know how to rap. Like I've been rapping more than half my life, so. That is like I could dig myself out of a hole. So, you know, trying to do that, it's just like exciting. Like I said, it's like starting over like with wrestling for me in my journey, you know what I mean? But like I understand, like if I got high again because I've been sober for so long, it would be really hard to start that journey again because you feel so defeated, you know what I mean? And so if, you know, to really where I'm at with rap music, it's like go back to square one, like studio,
on that
songs, collaborations, play for people. Okay, you know, and just the age is just you know, a number. You know what I mean? And just don't worry about that. Just put out them songs. And for me, it's like anyone's listening to it, man, that's epic. You know what I mean? Like people, I don't care. I'll take 1,000 streams because I went from 1,000 streams or 1,000 views to 7 million views. And to have 1 million views, or you know, I remember I just got my first 1 million views on YouTube, like at a certain age, you know, on my own page, and I was, damn, man, that's so crazy. I can't believe I got 1 million views on YouTube. But there's no end, you know. Sometimes it's like nice when you just do little things, and you're like, whoa, I'm trying like inspirational stuff, and I have an inspirational story. Why don't I do inspirational speaking content stuff, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's like, oh, man, this shit.
Do you feel like you don't have enough time?
Views, huh?
Do you feel like you don't have enough time in a day?
No, I know I have enough time. It's only I who wastes the time. I am the only one who wastes my time. I'm the only one who does it. I wake up and I'm scrolling and I'm looking. What do I get out of this thing? This little thing in my hands.
Time you won't get back.
Like it's like you're just addicted to doing this with your thumbs, and you're like, you know, it's like, but you know what? This used to be video games, and now it's a phone.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's the whole PowerPoint of control right there. You know what I mean? They don't want anybody to see what's going on out there. They don't want people to go out there and
I don't know about them, but I do know that like for me, I have the ability to like not touch it, and then when I'm like going through withdrawal because I want to grab my phone, I'm like, dude, I could write a song. I could have wrote a song, or I could have wrote a journal entry, or I could have wrote a joke, or I could have, you know, come up with a new script. I could have done so much creative. I could have uploaded something on my page, but instead, I'm just compare and despair. You know, you're just like, oh, Absolutely. Look what they have, and you're like, this is how relationships probably end. You're probably like, oh, I got my significant other, and you're like, oh, look, you're looking, and you don't even know you're looking at shit. You're just like, that shit didn't even exist until you got on a phone and it's in a box that doesn't exist. Of course, there's millions of people out there. There's millions of attractive people, you know what I mean? But you saw it through this, you know, this thing, and you didn't have to. I just followed this girl, Amanda Serrano. She's a Puerto Rican boxer. She has no phone, no boyfriend, no girlfriend. She's like, I'm not gonna have kids or anything till I'm retired. She's like, no relationships. I'm just focused on being the best I can be at boxing, and then I will move on
That's
to
strong
the next
discipline.
thing. And it's crazy. Yeah, discipline is the number one drug I'm seeking.
I know you touched bases on abuse of drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
What was that point in your life like? What? I mean, because that's a dark time for you to be at where you're at now and have 18, almost 19 years of sobriety.
Yeah, I felt like I did drugs, and then I was like, oh, I should just sell them. And then, so that way I could get more. And then I got arrested, and then you're like, oh, and you're like dodging stuff, and you're like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble. And then you're like on a sports team, and you got to pass urine tests, and like your whole obsession of life is now, in this realm of going out, hanging out, trying to hold on to this thing you've grown up with, which is sports, and then, developing this addiction. And then next thing you know, I realized, when I got clean and I got arrested, I did time for selling ecstasy, and then I was on parole, then selling drugs again while on parole and probation, and then getting arrested while you're on the probation period, and using when, that whole cycle of shit is basically like stealing from Peter to give to the piper. I don't know if that's the expression, but it's like, okay, so now you got to pay him back, and you get this, but I have, if I got to pay him back while I owe you money, and someone else is supposed to give me money, but I don't have it yet. I've literally I know how addictive this whole lifestyle is, because without drugs and drinking for over 18 years, I still have that quality when I bring it into my current life with just income, which is all made legally. It's just you still think, you're like, oh, I can't pay. I mean, you could have $100,000, but well, I can't give him the 500 yet, so I get 700 from the other guy. And you're like, yeah, you can, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Addiction is it's this horrible disease that doesn't leave you once the drugs do. So it's learning how to use the good stuff out of it, which was my hustle and tenacity. And I think, developed I started running marathons. I ran 4 marathons in 3 years. I ran 3 marathons in a year, right? I ran 1 marathon right before COVID, and then I ran 3 just last year. I'm just like, it's this new
Addiction?
This new drug. Yeah, I love pain and seeking discipline. I know it's crazy because my whole family comes from my brothers in the strength training business. My other brother is trains Orthodox Jews to fight self-defense, Krav Maga. He was a sergeant in the military in Israel. He's a Marine. He was a captain. I mean, we come from some line of discipline, right? I feel like I'm the least disciplined one. But the issue with addiction is you could be aware that it's all happening, and you still can't stop doing it. I'm aware that I'm I'm on my phone for an hour. Now I'm on my phone for 2 hours. I give no fucks. I am on my phone for 6 hours.
Then you get that weekly update. Your percentage went up.
Yeah. And you're I'm at, and take away the phone or whatever it is. It was I'm doing 1 bag of blow. I'm doing 2 bags of blow. I'm doing a ½ ounce of cocaine.
Just the growth in anything you do.
Yeah. So,
that's crazy.
So that was really what my life was like. So I'm talking co-signing all my own bullshit and being nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. Okay, now I'm not good. Spiritually, you're I need to change. I need to get arrested. Someone needs to stop me. I need to die. Okay, I got arrested. Okay, thank God. I'm not beat to go to prison. Okay, I'm stopping.
So you went to prison, right?
I went to jail. I had a short bid that was 9 months. I was supposed to do 5 years, and then I got paroled, and then I went back, and then when I got clean, I put myself in it's what they call a 3/4 house, and just sort of a halfway house. A 3/4 house is sort of where everyone's in recovery, probably on parole, probation, something, and they're just trying to get better. So they're living in a contained environment with curfews and stuff, and then from there, man, it was just moved back to the parents' house, starting music and delivering pizza and just doing that life.
Yeah. What's mental health part of your life? How does that, you assimilate that into that? You know, I know you're a big advocate for it.
Yeah, I mean, so I figure at this point, at least in like, the mental health thing is interesting because now mental health is such a cool thing to even discuss. I felt like it wasn't, and I feel like it's still some levels it isn't. Like, you know, first off, I think, you know, I had to see a psych. You know, a thing is interesting is about when you're taking drugs, a lot of people would like, I would do cocaine to like calm down, which is crazy because it's like an upper. But like you're depending on your like chemical imbalance, it's a big reason to why I ended up on, you know, SSRIs or things like Lexapro. You know, I started taking that, and then you could. This was like to really balance a lot of like the anxiety and stress, and then also if you think about a lifestyle of an artist, it's if you go to bed at 10 p.m. and you have a regimen, you wake up at 5 a.m. and you do this every day. This your lifestyle, and you eat clean and you drink water and you don't drink or you don't smoke, you're probably gonna have more stability. But for artists, it's like a give and take. So then my mental health, I took myself off like medication, right, when I moved overseas. And to say that I didn't lose it a little bit, I think like in the long run, it's really hard, you know, on a road. I mean, there's being an advocate for mental health, and then also dealing with medication, and then also being sober, or, you know, and just, you know, the world of wellness now, everyone's meditating, and like I said, running for me is therapeutic, not only like physical wise, but I have all these thoughts and intrusive thoughts. I suffer from OCD. I go to OCD therapy, which is like, it's different than talk therapy. You have to, so OCD is like, for instance, like if you could, just a small example is like checking if the door was locked. This is just like
knowing you locked it, but going back.
Yeah, and be like, I gotta check it. I'm not sure if I locked it, but that can manifest into other areas of your life, like trichotillomania, or like, you know, having a lot of hair on your arm and always being like, I'm just gonna like gotta pluck. It's sort of like to reduce your anxiety, so you get into a compulsion, right? Yeah, or you go into a compulsion, but it's like a cycle. So every time it makes you feel better for a second, but it really just ignites it more. So that's something new that I just started doing like this past year. And I realized being like it's such a long journey, mental health, because you're like, I didn't sign up for this, but once you know, you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, it's up to you. And today I was like, fuck, I know I'm not in it, right? I'm not in it. And then I'm like, what can I do? Okay, what can I? Oh, take a cold shower. Cold showers treat like, you know, it's
give your body that replenish.
Yeah, well, it's like called like top line activity. There's things that will really assist you in sort of making you feel better about your situation. And also, and this is like I said, the thing is crazy about, and I'm not gonna call it mental health. I'm gonna call it, you know, addiction. There's OCD. These are all different things, right? They're ADHD. These are all different things. I'll just speak for myself of my own experience. Mm-hmm. I could be aware that this is happening and still choose to do it, and then I'll be like, it's fine, fuck it, and still be stuck in it. And you're like, damn, dude, it's mad powerful, because people could live like this their entire life, and you're like, yo, why have they never changed? I'm like, because you never got help. You never decided to change it. So it's not only willpower. It's like the ability to just be able to be like, okay, it's my job to schedule therapy and pay for it. It's like, if I can't pay for it, like, that's my bad. You know what I mean? But like, am I willing? You only have one mind. I'm not, and I've had so many people in my life pass away, mostly from drugs, but I would say probably their issues would stem from other things that they did drugs. You do drugs to help deal with your inner pain. So, you know what I mean? So if someone's doing that, they're like, damn, dude, like, it's my responsibility now. You know, I'm saying I'm at an age where I'm like, I just looked and I was like, I just spent $2,000 on therapy. I was like, I spent $2,000 on therapy. And I'm like, that's crazy though. If you're like ever thinking about going to therapy, you're like, I ain't trying to drop no 2 racks. Nah, you could be like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? But then I'll make myself feel proud of myself that I invested that money in my own well-being. You know what I mean? Because if someone, I could make $2,000 tomorrow off a song.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have even been in that situation because I would have been so mentally distraught. I wouldn't even have been in that room. You know what I mean?
It's crazy because I was just having this conversation last night from the Wu thing. You know, I sit there, I look at RZA and all them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're very choice in their choice of words and their presentation of, oh, it ain't not excited. You know what I mean? It's just like, how can you have so much humbleness with so much success? It's strange because some of the most successful people I've ever met have been the most humblest. And to me, I want to know how it's that. How do you do that? Because life is overbearing sometimes.
I'll tell you this story. This is so crazy. So before I got on Wild and Out, this is 2021. This is in October. I was rapping outside MSG, and this is before the Bing Bong thing came. I'm sure you guys knew about all the Bing Bong, like that happened outside MSG from Side Talk, and I was rapping outside, and I'm like, I'm gonna rap outside the Knicks games until they let me perform at the Knicks halftime, or I'm gonna rap outside until they let me inside. So I started this whole brand, we outside till we inside, which is like we're knocking on doors till we're getting inside. Nice. And I ended up, eventually getting on Wild and Out. I got the audition. This video of Fat Joe went viral. Fat Joe joined me. It was just like this crazy situation that was like, he was actually, and in comparison, I told my girl this the other night. I was like, yo, Fat Joe was in the episode, and he was quoting Big L, obviously from DITC, and when he rapped to me, he spit the verse, enough's enough, Federals tried to send me, he was spitting from his rhymes from the joint with Big L, and like, and quote me if I'm not wrong, I don't know if that Fat Joe quote last night that we watched was with Big L, but
from in the movie?
Yeah, I know it was definitely associated with him, DITC, and I thought Big L. So I told him we outside till we inside. A year later, goes back, and it's December 1st, 2022. I am on stage at Madison Square Garden. Right now, it's sold out. I manifested this shit. I said I'm gonna rap outside Madison Square Garden. Until I get in, and I didn't perform. You know what I'm saying? I was on stage. We was Wild and Out. We're there. I'm part of the crew. You know what I mean? I wasn't actually part of the show, but I'm on stage at Madison Square Garden. It's pretty amazing that I've done this.
We outside until you was in.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful manifestation, man.
And then a month later, I was rapping outside again at like another thing because. The thing is, you are inside. It doesn't matter, essentially. We are on the inside of our own path. Does that make sense? It's Absolutely. Like, I am...
Each person's journey is unique.
Yeah, my journey is unique, man. I'm like, I want to fall in love with it more. Like, it's so ill. Like, I'm just like, yo, I don't even care. Like, because the thing is, I'm well aware that the entity that I'm part of is why they're there. It's not because of me. And for now, okay, I got that. That's a small window, right? It is a nice story to tell. Like I was rapping outside Fat Joe, and then we're outside till we're inside, and then 13 months later, from end of October to December 1st, I'm on stage at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Right. So let's take that and say, yo, that's nice. That's a big victory for some, but for me, it's a small victory because. How about we just play my own set at Madison Square Garden? That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? I want you to DJ. I want you guys to be there and be like, okay, and then you're just like, okay, cool. Like, where do we sell the merch table? Where's the merch? You know what I mean? Because now I want to sell.
You're going to need that.
Right. So, but because people don't technically, are you hear the police? See, they coming for us. Nah. They know we are.
Clothing line.
Yeah. So, okay. And what's the next step? Okay, you play Madison Square Garden, you open up for an act, and or you just keep telling that story because it's inspiring to a lot of kids. They're like, yo, that's it. And check it out. That high's going to come down, and then you get dark, and oh, man, look, everyone else got it. And you're like, shut up. Shut the fuck up. And then you stay on the path, my God. Go back to that. Go buy some studio time. Make a song. Or, get out of your head. So... I'm love to be like my journey, at least in my mental health thing, is like staying my body out of my head.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Get out of this. Because up here, bro, you don't even get to experience, but you just see me in my physical, like we're moving and jiving, Because if I could be I literally thought about that show. I don't know. I would meet someone from that show that we talked. We were just talking about this show with where I met M80. I was like Killer Mike and Mickey Fax and G-Dep and these rappers, right? That are all famous in their own right, but all have different levels. Mickey Fax went on to do something, you know, one guy's not outside right now, he's incarcerated, and the other guy's part of one of the biggest rap groups of all time right now, Run the Jewels. And I'm like, you couldn't have told that guy that would have happened that year. That he, you know what I'm saying? He would have never. Oh yeah, I'm totally gonna be playing Coachella in front of tens of thousands and making $250,000 or whatever. But my thing is, you know, I'm trying to make a plan. And one thing I really loved about RZA was that he did make a 5-year plan. I'm afraid to make a 5-year plan, but like I need to do it. And just, you know, I would love to become, you know, more prolific at writing in script, writing jokes and comedy, doing stand-up, doing music, and combining for a live show where I could sell tickets and, you know, also just helping people and sharing my story. But I do think, like, if I learned anything, right, trials and tribulations, is that the more I stayed in my head, the more I made bad choices. Straight up. Like,
it's trapped in the brain.
Yeah. Like, staying in my head, thinking this, you know, doing drugs, staying in my head, doing this, you know, not going for it, stay in my head, you know, people end up in their head about their relationships, and there's no issues with the relationship at all. And then you're just thinking, you know, maybe there's something else and you could just make these decisions for the rest of your life, being, not sure if, and being so. But I just love the work. And my brother, you know, he's just like, do the work. My brother, Zach Evanash, he does strength training stuff, and he just like, shut up, do the work.
Don't stop.
Know? Yeah. I mean, it's so cliche, but I hate working. I'm so inherently lazy. But like,
I join you there, man.
You know what I mean? People are like, oh, you work so hard. I was like, no, you don't know what hard work is. Like waking up, running 6 miles, working out for 3 hours, doing this. So what does that look like in music? Waking up, writing jokes. Well, I don't got nothing to write about. Well, put the pen down to the paper anyway. I don't want to run. Well, you don't want to run. Why? Yeah, well, okay, then you're just fine. Then don't complain if you look the way you look like, or you're not. It's just, you know what I mean?
Accept it for what it is, or do something about it.
Yeah. So for me, man, I'm just trying to. I saw this reel the other day, dog. I don't know how much time we got.
We're running out of time. I want to touch on one base real quick.
Okay, yeah, touch.
You have this big diss. I mean, I would even say it's a diss. It was a return. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
Elaborate on that.
Okay.
With
the
who?
Kanye West diss.
Okay. Yeah.
The Kanye
Absolutely.
West, DEFCON 3. Okay, so Kanye, you know, obviously said a lot of anti-Semitic shit, you know, anti-Jewish stuff. For people that don't understand the term anti-Semitism, I just need to like break that down. That was a word used to describe anti-Jewishness, right? It doesn't mean Semite people or people from. So there was a song, and you know, there's a lot of like misconceptions about Jewish people, a lot of very just continuously negativity, and Kanye just went all in. And I said, you know what, this is a great opportunity for me to just clap back. You know what I'm saying? And who cares? Like, I'm never going to work with Kanye. But, you know, my biggest dream, I hoped I did, because I really liked Kanye, but I'm just going to make this song. Made the song. My boy Sam Barsh produced it. I recorded it in a spot literally a mile away, at a spot where a guy also, he did Donda. He had Donda credits on the wall. Even my neighbor, everyone's recorded. I know so many people that work with Kanye. It's not crazy. So it's like, all right, makes sense. I'm the Jewish dude. Let me just make this. And I did
but
it.
You're
and
entitled
broke
to that
the
because...
yeah. That's it. And that's what I did. I was just like, and I don't make diss records. Like I said, last time I was battling was like 90, in the beginnings of the 2000s, you know? And that was it. I was like, fuck this. I'm on Wild and Out. I'm the Jewish guy on the show. I'm just like, it makes sense. I did it. Eat a dick, everyone. And that was kind of like my FU to, you know, everyone who's ever thought that, and Kanye, but specifically Kanye West. And yeah, man, I shot a video. We literally released it in a day. My video editor edited it, and that's our thing. We like shoot a video, edit it out the next day, upload.
Nice.
Just millions of views.
I mean, those were some powerful words. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think, you know, aggressive stuff. Like I'm a very lighthearted guy. Like I tell you about my stories, selling drugs and steal a car, armed robberies. No one believes it because of my character, how I appear. Because I'm I'm a lighthearted guy.
No, you're a salesman.
Yeah, I'm a salesman. Yeah, I'm a lighthearted salesman. But I also sold cemetery plots door to door. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to bury somebody on the mic sometimes. And I don't know, like,
Hey.
I want somebody to be like, yo, you look at the comment section at how comfortable people are saying shit on the internet and not in real life. And to be honest, no one came up to me from that song and said, yo, F you, Kosha Dillz, you're you little bit, no one, but online they do, and I was just like, this
they
is
hit the
kind
buttons.
of, they love to hit those buttons, and so I just thought, Kanye's too comfortable. That's what I did.
Little razzle dazzle.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I didn't care if it got 10,000 views or 5,000, but it got millions. It got hundreds of thousands on YouTube, and people were like, yo, it was just, Kanye was everything for like 2 months. So like on the internet every day, the world couldn't stop clicking on him. So I was like, whatever, man. I've earned it right. I've been rapping for 25 years. I'm gonna make a diss track. You know what I'm saying? And you also have the right to tell anyone they disrespect you and you could tell them to go eat a dick. Respectfully or disrespectfully,
however you choose.
Yeah, it's
whatever
exactly
walk of life you go.
Yeah, man. And I would, if he said, "Yo, I seen this podcast you did," you know what I mean? The guys from Buffalo, and I'll be like, "Trials and tribulations, man. You're whatever."
Absolutely. Hey, you know what I like?
What?
I like that negative talk because that's promotion. You know what I mean? You one of their followers and friends is gonna click because they like that.
I got a lot of people that clicked on it. So people click.
Going,
People
man.
click, bro. You know what I'm saying? But not many people are in clicks and
Ooh,
that are
that's
tight.
deep.
You know what I mean?
That's deep.
Like tight knit ones. And I'm in a clique by myself, and I got a couple good people around me, and it's a journey, man. Like I said, even Kanye has trials and tribulations. I hope he learned. You know what I mean? I don't want anyone to ever die or anything like that. I don't wish malice on anyone, but I would say that I do wish malice on people that don't take that extra step that they know they could and they choose not to. And sometimes I even say to myself, I'm like, oh my God, am I speaking to myself? Holy shit. And you're like, stop thinking. Do it.
You're your best supporter though.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna get out there. I'm about to go get it right now. Yeah, I just want to say this story. I was like, yo, I seen this reel, and he's like, so it was like a question. It was just one of these funny reels with the audio, and he's like, so like how do you do it? And he's like, I asked, wake up. So let's get it. That's it.
There's a guy out there called Gift at Hands in his song. You know what I mean? The one song there, he's gonna set his own pace listen to it. It's called Gift at Hands.
Gift at Hands, all right.
And it's a beautiful part because in his video he goes to the doctor and asking him, this guy ain't got no hands. He's challenged. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
And she goes, well, what are you waiting for? And then he goes, you're right. What am I waiting for? And it was just the lyrics in that song is very Gift at Hands. I admire you, bro. You gotta drive, but not get back to you. You got a unique story, and we're real appreciative of you sharing it. This is going to shed a lot of inspiration on mental health. Continuous drive towards athleticism or whatever in life.
The athletic stuff is it could be. I take my wrestling stuff and put it for my rap. You know what I mean? That's what I love to do.
We really appreciate you, and we're glad we took this show on the road. Pulled up on you, and we're thankful for you. Welcome us into your house with open arms. And
I wish I had some food or something for you guys, but
we appreciate it, bro. You know what I mean? My culture is Native American, and we whatever comes along, we're very thankful. We want the best of the world, but we don't really we take what we can, and we appreciate it.
I love it, man. I gotta get down with the native. I feel like it's something I'm disconnected from, just living in New York. So
we got a very simulation. You know what I mean? Because it's crazy. Because you guys go by what your mother is.
Yeah.
The same thing as the Native Americans. We simulate in that fashion of your blood descent comes from your mother.
I love it, man. I love it.
Where's the platforms people can follow and reach out to you? And any company that you want to give a shout out?
Yeah. I would say everything is just Kosha Dillz, Kosha Dillz. You'll see it right here on the screen. Obviously, you're watching, as you already know.
Absolutely.
And KoshaDillzWorld.com. KoshaDillzWorld.com is the website. Obviously, watch Wild and Out. watch season 18. Watch all the season, but I'm on season 18. It's 9 episodes, and I got 11 coming up in season 19 and 20 that you'll see my face. So hopefully those make the cuts. You never really know what happens. And yeah, man, Spotify, if you want to dig deeper into my catalog, I got all the music up there, Spotify, Bandcamp, YouTube, the whole thing.
Make sure you tune in, man. This is a very special story. So
yeah, man.
We appreciate it, man. Really
all right,
do.
man. Trials and tribulations.
Absolutely.
Yes,
TCS
sir.
on the road.
Yeah. It's for y'all. Listen up. Anti-Semitism bars, New York City, 6 races for every point up in my star. First name, Rami, pickle out the jar. This is death concrete, guarantee you won't go far, yeah. What, Benjamin, screw the media bank, I own none of that. Silent friends try to play ball, I can see you never wanna run it back, bro, I'm focused. Jesus walked the Sunday service, you in denial like Moses. Please disguise your races, cause your ex is fucking funny dudes by fireplaces. And you're spineless basic, I used to be a pussy like you, then I stopped complaining. Drink champs, don't let him say shit. Route the fuck with you, a worker style, burn a pair of Yeezy, see the shoes a burger now. I understand you need money for pics and views. You're a blind billionaire and I see the bitch in you. This for all the right wingers, leftists who do absolutely nothing and pretend they make moves. For yay lovers, ill hands and Candace 0-2. You can all get this, man, I'm owing y'all the truth. This for every right wingers, leftists who do absolutely nothing and pretend they make moves. For yay lovers, ill hands and Candace 0-2. You can all get this, I can't tell who is who. Not a manager, bro, my boss is black. I got a sick cannon for every asshole talking back. 2024 is yours, take it off the map. The shit you said about George is completely capped, bruh. Own land versus homeland, we all struggling. Only rep the people, I don't mess with governments. Jewish, but I'm faking, skin color mistaken. Head rabbi from the synagogue of Satan. Out in Times Square, peaceful, assalamu alaikum. We so diverse, many colors, no mask, no Jason, not emo. But I need a lot of blessings. Think you got hate, bro? You should see the comment section. Call me fake Hebrew, blame for living life. Rabbi Heschel, MLK, March 54 for civil rights. Don't wing it, Hana Kanye, attack zapping actually. Yay and nay, I'm a naysayer and a Maccabee. The flamethrower is a weapon they use to separate us like uneducated fools. I speak for myself and many others too. From the cradle to the grave, I'ma rep what I do. Politicians only help themselves, it's the truth. People stick together, I won't give up on you. I still believe in peace, I won't give up on you. This for all the right wingers, leftists who do absolutely nothing and pretend they make moves. For yay lovers, ill hands and Candace 0-2. You can all get this, man, I'm owing y'all the truth. This for every right wingers, leftists who do absolutely nothing and pretend they make moves. For yay lovers, ill hands and Candace 0-2. You can all get this, I can't tell who is who.